Hello, my Teaserking family. Happy Saturday morning. Last night I was 1-1. I had Oregon over, and 35-0 didn't go over, but I had Nevada also over with Fresno State 44, and it was a 45, so we'll take it. Today I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 college locks, 4 pro locks. We have to change the free pick. The free pick was Georgia Tech. And because Covers isn't updating their things, I see, but it just happened yesterday that Kings, the quarterback's not playing. So there's 2 quarterbacks out, uh, at least that I know of. One's King for Georgia Tech, and one's the Arizona quarterback. So don't play the Georgia Tech over or the Georgia Tech, and I'll give you a new one. Let's go with Georgia Texas over. After watching this, I do like where's my penny? Somewhere my pen is around. Oh, shit. Where could my pen be? Oh, well, we'll find it. Got to be here somewhere. All right. Anyway, let's scratch Georgia Tech as the free play. We'll go with Georgia over. I was watching Georgia against New Mexico, against Old Mississippi State, and they shred them up pretty good. Alabama shred up their defense pretty good, and Texas has got the good passing for them to shred it up. But Georgia's starting to pass the ball much better. They did good against Alabama, who we don't know how good they are defensively, but should be able to do Texas. It's a 56.5. We'll go over 50.5. I think that's doable. Real quick, let's talk gold. Gold ended 27.21. So it's in the 2700s. And then more importantly, silver 33.71. As I did my class last night, please go buy it now. It broke 32.75. It'll go to 45 to 50. But that's not why we buy it, to make $17, but we want to buy it before it goes to 15. We can't buy as much. So after class, I will go buy another 10, 20 ounces. And again, it's based on how many you have. If you have 500, 600, or like Luke, you have 2 boxfuls, you're fine. If you have 50, 60 ounces, I would advise it to get to 100. And then every $5, you make $5,000 if you have 100 ounces. So with gold, you can't have as many ounces. So when it goes up 100, every 100 you make 5,000 if you have 50 ounces. But it's reversed in the silver. If you have 100 ounces, every $5 will be 5,000. Will be, I think, 5,000. All I know is if you got 1,000 ounces and it goes up $100, you make 100,000. Now, I don't think you have 1,000 ounces, but you can do the math. So let's see, if you have 100 ounces and it goes up $5, you made 500. Obviously, if it goes up 50, you made 5,000. So every $50, you'll make 5,000. All right, that's gold and silver. Bricks coming out Tuesday. Look for that price to go to the moon. I think silver's already on its way. All right, let's get into college football. So I got 4 locks today. I've got a lot of picks, and the basis is I was a little tired flying home, so I was, there's a little energy you need to pick the game, feel good with, yeah, this game's going to win. And you can't be too tired. So I was too tired Wednesday I could see the game, but I couldn't get the energy. So yesterday night, I finally got the energy. So if you bought, the picks went up late last night, and here we go today. All right, the Army, you can still get a 16, 52.5. Go Army, beat Navy. Indiana 6.5, 49.5 to Nebraska. Real good game. We got Rutgers 4.5, 41 to UCLA, who's the Z team in the Big Ten. UCLA is. Lou Lafayette 5.5, 56.5, up from 4.5 against Coastal Carolina. Should be a good game there. Cincinnati's up 5.5, 50.5 because of the injury to the Arizona State quarterback. He's out. They still have a very good running back. And we don't know who the backup quarterback, how good he is. This is the problem in college. When they go to the backup, the guy might be better. You got a lot of idiot coaches who don't play the right quarterback. Clemson, 20.5, 57.5 against Virginia. Virginia's not that bad to get 20 points. Wake's now 1.5 and 55.5 to Connecticut. I kind of like Connecticut laying 1.5. Now I like them as the dog. I haven't played them yet, but I think I might. Missouri is 3.5, 49.5 to Auburn. Missouri's been having their difficulties. They finally got a win over UMass last week, so we'll see if that turns them around. Real good game. Miami, Louisville. Miami is 5 and 60.5. Should be a real good game. Louisville can win this game. I like Shaw, the quarterback. Cam Ward's been playing out of his mind. Didn't play like this at Washington State. Hey, Jacob. You're a Wake fan, and our football team is bad, and our defense is awful. Yeah, your defense is a 34. Connecticut's a 22. I can't understand why you went favorite if Connecticut was the favorite. It's hard to believe Connecticut was the favorite. But yeah, they're and I don't like the quarterback Backenmeyer. He's terrible. So yeah, Connecticut in 7.5 should be good here. Wisconsin is, let's call it 8.5, 42 to Northwestern. I don't know what you get with Wisconsin. They looked really good last week, looked terrible against USC. And now they go to Northwestern, who's really, they don't score much with a good defense. So we'll see. This should be an under game normally, but we will see. But it's only a 41.5, so it's hard to go under in it. South Carolina is now gone favorite over Oklahoma. South Carolina -1 and 41 to Oklahoma. I thought South Carolina should have been favored. Oklahoma's terrible. Their coach is in way over his head. He doesn't know what he's doing. This is the problem. He's a good defensive coordinator at Clemson. That's all he is a good defensive coordinator. Oklahoma has a good defense, but he can't coach offense. His quarterback situation is terrible. He's going with these young guys who are more, dual. They can run. They're athletes, but they're not quarterbacks. So again, he's fallen into the trap. The guy's not a quarterback, and you got him as quarterback. You wonder why you're scoring 10 points a game. This is my whole theory. I want a guy who can throw the ball first. Mahomes, Joe Burrow, that's where you win. You don't win with Lamar. You don't win with these Jalen Hurts, these running quarterbacks, because as soon as the defense makes them throw, they can't, especially in the red zone. They can't. So that's the problem there. Hey, Prophet. The trip was really nice. Really, we're kind of like if you went up north on the coastline of the Mediterranean in Italy, Amalfi Coast, it's called. And it's basically, we went to the beach, some boats, and you'd find a nice place for dinner. And we had breakfast from the hotel. The hotel was okay, weak internet in the room. And not a lot of people speak English, which I was afraid of. A lot of the cab drivers couldn't speak it, and neither could the. We took a water taxi. The guy couldn't speak it. It was pretty bad from that standpoint. But there weren't a lot of taxis because you were like up north somewhere. So it was a good view. The Mediterranean. It's like you're on the Atlantic or the Pacific. It's a lot of water. And it was nice to get away, relax. I was able to get Jenna away from the war for about 10 days. So that's good. All right. So South Carolina's favorite over Oklahoma. They're the better team. So we'll see what happens. Eastern Michigan, 3.5, 53.5. To Central Michigan. Both teams are over teams. Temple, 52.5 to Tulsa. I can't believe Temple's favored. 3 points favorites over Tulsa. Is Tulsa that bad? They both have 37 defenses, 300 yards of offense. Tulsa's, I got as a W. They score a little more than Temple, but they're a Z team, Temple. So hard to bet on a Z team when they're favored. Tulsa, not the offense I want against the Z team, but I'll be shocked if Temple kills them. Northern Illinois, the Riddler team, 2.5, 43.5. I don't know what's going on with them. They go and beat Notre Dame, and then they lose to Buffalo, and then they finally won last week as a dog. I think you bet them as a dog, and they're favored against Toledo here. Toledo's the better team. An A team, 17 defense from Northern Illinois. We know they got a good defense. Toledo at 21. Toledo with a better offense. So we'll see here. I'm not touching Northern Illinois as a favorite. If they were a dog, I'd touch them. Prophet, do you have any trouble crossing international borders with your gold? Do you have to pay duty on it? No problem. As I was showing, all I do is here's my wallet, right? Here's the thing. So I stick 2 ounces in here, right? Close it up. And when I go through, security, I lay the wallet with my keys, with my belt. You empty your pants, keys, belt, passport, wallet goes into the plastic container where your shoes are. And that's it. And it goes through. They don't care because they're not looking for it. They're looking for weapons. You get to your place, and all there is passport control. There's no customs. There's no, oh, yeah, I got 2 ounces of gold with me. There's nothing like that. It's just you get your passport checked, and then you go get your bag, and you go get your taxi. And that's it. Once you're there, nobody bothers you. Nobody bothers you at the airport. So put it in here. They don't know. They don't care. They're not looking for it because we're stupid Americans. None of us have gold. So remember that. But yeah, put it in your wallet, put it in the plastic tray, and just walk right through, wait for it, and off you go. And nothing, no duty, nothing. Because your argument, if you ever did get caught, is it's only worth $50. It's a U.S. Eagle. I don't know. Oh, really? It has a value of $2,800 now? Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. I see it's worth 50, and that's always the out. But nobody's ever going to question you because they don't really force you into customs at most of these European countries. I don't know how it is if you go to Singapore or somewhere, but I've been to quite a few, Amsterdam and Ukraine and Barcelona, Portugal, and now Italy. You walk right, you go to passport, you go to your luggage and go to the taxi. Yeah, but nobody's ever questioned the coins because it's not dangerous. They're looking for weapons. You know what they took? I had toothpaste for Jenna. She wanted Crest because they don't sell Crest in Europe apparently. So I had a 3-pack of Crest, but because it was more than 5 ounces or something, that they took. So that they're worried about is Crest toothpaste because it's a paste, you can spread it. So I guess you can make a bomb with Crest toothpaste. Who knew? That they took. The gold they don't. So it's really, really bizarre. Yeah, well, I took her some gold, and just in case I needed it coming back. Actually, I took her an ounce and a quarter. I didn't take her 2 ounces. All right, South Florida, 13.5, 57.5 to UAB, both a couple of W teams. UTSA, 6.5, 51.5 to Florida Atlantic. UTSA is a W team, Florida Atlantic's an E team. So the better team's the dog here. Michigan, 4.5, 5, 44.5 to Illinois. Michigan, I guess, starting Tuttle from Indiana. I didn't know he was that good. Wasn't that good at Indiana. And 44.5 stayed. Illinois, good team. I don't know what happened last week. 50-49 to Purdue, and here Purdue gets shut out by Oregon. I don't know, Michigan. I got Illinois winning the game. I don't know Michigan's going to go in there and win. Illinois' got a good defense and a good quarterback. I think this is a tease the dog game, 4.5. Yeah, I wouldn't take Michigan here. Navy, 16.5, 56. Go Navy. Charlotte is a W team. Navy's an A team, and 32 defense for Charlotte. Excuse me, I have a little cold. I can feel. Probably just I could have slept all day. I got up early, go to the bathroom, and I went back to sleep. I could have just kept. It was hard. I got up at 9:45. Luckily, I could have slept. It'd be 12 o'clock, and I'd be still out. I think it's jet lag finally hitting me. Miami of Ohio, 3.5, 43.5. That number hasn't moved against Ohio. This is an under game. Both teams are underplays. Texas State and Old D. We love our Texas State. 10 and 60.5. To Old D. Texas State's an over team. Really, they're not because they have a 22 defense. They're really more of a B team or an A team. 472 yards of offense. Old D's an E with a 28 defense. Look for Texas State to score some points. Our free play, that's not a free play anymore unless you know anything about their Georgia Tech backup. All of a sudden, Covers is not giving me injuries. So in my class last night, Alex goes, "Oh, the Georgia Tech quarterback's out," and the Arizona State quarterback's out, which again I can't find it because covers won't update their injuries. So let's go Notre Dame 14 and 48 and a half. I guess you can play under. Notre Dame's pretty much an under team. I would expect Georgia Tech. I guess the quarterback's similar to Kings, but he's not Kings. So if you've already bet it, I think you're okay. I think that they will still stay close at home. The backup quarterback, it's a good coach, so I'm sure he's prepared, but we'll take it off because it's not Kings. So don't play the game. If you played it, you could maybe take take Notre Dame, lay the 13, and you had Georgia Tech in 18 or 19. You could do that, but normally in Vegas, the game haven't started. You can sort of delete the bet, void the bet out. Say I don't want it, and normally they'll do that if there's a late injury. If the line hasn't moved, you can void the bet out. I don't want it anymore. I wanted it with Kings. So avoid that. I'm giving you Georgia over Texas instead. Alabama, Tennessee, 3 and 57. And I've been working this game really hard. And here's my conclusion. I watched Tennessee, Arkansas, and Tennessee, Florida. And my conclusion is Tennessee's quarterback, the volleyball player, is really not that good. He can't read, and he throws a lot of bad passes, which is why they're not scoring in the SEC like they did against the weaker teams when he would run. Alabama should carve them apart with Milrose. So Alabama should score on Tennessee. I don't know how much Tennessee can come back, but they're at home and a dog, and it's big rivalry, and it's Saturday afternoon, not Saturday night in Tennessee, which, again, it should be Saturday night. So Tennessee will be emotional. They'll play a good game, but I don't think, when you look at it, I think Milrose is too much for Tennessee, and Tennessee really can't counter it. But Alabama does have the defense is weak. You can throw on it. The Tennessee quarterback can throw a little bit. Tennessee's big point is Sampson, the running back. I don't know it's hard to run on Alabama. That's for sure. So this is a good game, but I think Alabama's too much for him here. So roll Tide. Rice and Tulane, 22, 52 and a half. To Rice, Tulane's an A team, very good team. Rice stinks. Rice is a E team, but I doubt they're an E team. Buffalo, Western is now 149. They've been favored. Nothing's really changed here. 35 defense for Western, 23 for Buffalo. Houston, Kansas, a real good game. Kansas, 5 and 46 to Houston. 20 defense for Houston. Very good defensive team. They switch quarterbacks. Hopefully they're getting better there. Great coach. Kansas, great coach. They lost their offensive coordinator. Daniels, their quarterback, isn't that good, but he's getting better. He's been injured. They got a 26 defense. I think this is a good game. I think this should be a close game here. We'll see. We'll see what Houston's new quarterback. He's played a few games, looks like. Bowling Green against Clark Kent, 20 and a half, 54 and a half. Kent's a Z team. They're terrible. 49 defense, and Bowling Green with the 24 defense. And Bowling Green is an E team, so they're not that strong. But Kent's got 209 yards a game, so Kent probably won't bother them. Is Bowling Green strong enough offensively? I think they will kill Kent. Washington State, 18 and a half, 55 and a half. Line hasn't moved. Hawaii is a good under team. They held UCLA, and then we see UCLA sucks. They played Boise last week, 28-7. They got a touchdown late, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, so it was 13-7 going in. And then Boise, I said yesterday I was having breakfast when the game was in the fourth quarter. That shows you the time difference. I don't think I bet the midnight game this week. I'm giving you guys a break so you can rest. So Washington State 18.5, 50. They are an over team, but they do have a 30 defense. I think they can handle Hawaii. Cal, NC State, Cal 9.5, 46.5. Cal is a pretty good team. They had Miami. I called that one. Miami came to Cal and had that whole West Coast flight. North Carolina State's doing it now, and North Carolina State's not that good. They're an over team with a 32 defense. Cal's it's a good under team with an 18 defense. Cal at home, I think they get the W. Texas Tech, 5.5, 55.5 to Baylor. Very strong offense, Texas Tech, as we know, and a 32 defense. Baylor's still recovering from the Colorado fuck up where they ran the worst prevent defense I've ever seen. Baylor's an E team with a 24 defense, over under 55.5. Texas Tech will score early and often. See, I like Texas Tech is they have the good quarterback Morton, but then they have the good running back who I can't remember his name, but he's really good. So you can't defend them. They're going to score, but their defense is so bad. I don't know why they can't get a good defense. USC 7.5, 56.5. Looks like, oh, let's take USC -1.5 until you realize they got to travel to Maryland. They went to Minnesota and Michigan and lost both of those. Now they got to go to Maryland. They lost to Penn State last week. They're not a very good team. I don't like the coach. It was all gimmicks. He just had fast quarterbacks. He doesn't have a fast quarterback. He can't coach. He lost with Caleb because Caleb's not fast. He's not a runner. He's losing with Miller Moss. He has a quarterback he needs, and from UNLV transferred there, and he's not playing him. Coach is fucking himself over. So I don't know that this is that easy. Again, Maryland with a good offense. They're an E team. They do have a 30 defense, but USC's got a 26 defense. I got this game close. I got USC winning, but it's not as easy as, I'll take USC -1.5 and they'll win the game. James Madison, 9.5, 50.5, 58.5 to Georgia Southern. James Madison, an 18 with a 16 defense. Georgia Southern, over team with the 31 defense. James Madison is Heckle and Jekyll. I mean, they put up 70 in North Carolina and 20 on Lou Lafayette or something. So you're not sure which team you're going to get. Georgia Southern with the weak defense. So we'll see. Should be a high scoring game if the 70-point North Carolina team shows up, but you're not sure which team's showing up. Arizona, 2.5, 58 to Prime. It's the only one I can just say Prime, and I'll know it's Colorado. Colorado's a B team. They killed UCF. They're playing better defense, and they're looking like a real team. I know they beat UCF, and I know they beat Baylor. So they had 2 good wins, although they shouldn't have beat Baylor. 24 defense, so it's a little bit better. Arizona with the 27 defense. And and then you got the Prime antics, and again, they can't run. And Arizona with Fafita. Fafita's going to score on you. Colorado doesn't have that kind of defense. They're going to shut Fafita down. So should be an interesting game. Fafita against Prime. Should be a big number here. All right. New Mexico, Utah State. New Mexico is 1.5, 77.5. And I don't think that's enough. This is a 100-point game. New Mexico Both teams have 43 defenses and 40-point offenses. Neither of them are going to stop each other. They both got about 480 yards of offense, good quarterbacks, and they just score. I know it's 77 and a half. I wouldn't worry about it. You're going to see a 100-point game. It's just a number. It's a hard number, and you can't get all excited. If it was 69, it would be a lock. No problem. 78 makes hard to lock it, but your odds are a little worse. But I'd say by half, it's 50 points. It'll be 30-28 at halftime, and they'll just roll to, what do you need? 40, 35s to 75, and you're teasing it to 71. You'll have that in the third quarter. San Jose State, 11.5, 52.5 to Wyoming. Wyoming is the Z team. 32 defense. San Jose State's been scoring a little bit more. They're now an over team with the 26 defense. So pretty good team, San Jose State. Wyoming, they're a little bit better at home, but I don't see them showing up in this game. A&M against Old Mississippi State. A&M 20-56. Wow, this was 18.5. Wow, now it's 20. A lot of money, a lot of sharps going on Texas A&M. I'm not quite sure why. Old Mississippi State changed quarterbacks, and they lit up Georgia pretty good. The kid threw some nice passes against my Georgia team, and they put up 31 on Georgia. They put up 31 on anybody. 37 defense for Old Mississippi State, 17 for A&M. This game, I think, will be closer than 20. Especially it's at Old Mississippi State. LSU, Arkansas, Bobby's game. LSU 2.5, 57. There's a 55.5 and a 57. Jesus. Let's see. So LSU 2.5 and 56.5 is now. We'll keep it at 56.5 because there's a 55.5. You got an over team in LSU, 22 defense. They score a ton. Great quarterback, 450 a game. Both teams average 450 a game, and they do it totally different. Arkansas more running. I don't like their quarterback. I love LSU's quarterback. I don't like Arkansas's quarterback. But they both have Arkansas with a 19 defense, LSU with a 22. Do you go over? I don't know. Arkansas, you can't really count on their quarterback, and LSU's defense is a little weak. You look at last week against Ole Miss, and LSU wins 29-26 or something like that. Or 29-23, just enough to fuck us on our over. So I'm not going to go over on the game because Arkansas has got a 19 defense, and they run the ball a lot. So they're going to run clock. And I think that's their plan, is they're going to run the ball and play their defense. They're going to play Army-Navy football. So I don't know if they'll get to 57, 56. Hard call there. Arkansas State, 756 to Southern Miss. Both are Z teams, both with 33 defenses. Southern Miss gets 200 yards a game, and Arkansas 329. I will not touch this game. I will not take Arkansas down to 1. They're a Z team too. So this is better left on loan. Hard to bet a Z team as a road favorite. Vanderbilt, 27.5, 57 to Ball State. Old Daggio Pavia thinks he's back at New Mexico State. When you win at New Mexico State, you're a good quarterback. I would draft this guy. I don't care how big or small he is. I was watching the Oregon game yesterday, and they were saying, well, Dylan Gabriel's only 5'11". Who the fuck cares? How big was Drew Brees? How big is half these quarterbacks? The height is not a problem. If you're going to make the height a problem, I don't see it. So let's just draft quarterbacks that are 6'5", like Mark McGuire's brother, who sucked. It's got nothing to do with height. Pavia beat Alabama, enough said. So Vanderbilt, 27.5, a 24 defense. Ball State with a 46 defense. Pavia is going to have a field day. They won't stop them. Ball State is an over team, so I think we're going to get some help from Ball State. And Vanderbilt's just going to lay it on because they beat fucking Bama. This is no time to lose to Ball State. They did lose to Georgia State somehow. Then they go beat Kentucky and they beat Alabama, and you lose to Georgia State. So I don't think they're going to lose to Ball State today. I think they put up a ton here and a lot of points in this game. Memphis, 11.5, 68 to North Texas. I don't understand North Texas getting 11.5 points from Memphis. Memphis is not that good. A lot of the teams they beat were weak. North Texas scores a ton. They're an over team with a 33 defense, Memphis a 16, but haven't played. They beat Troy and they beat, some really weak teams. They haven't seen a North Texas offense. They did play Navy and lost 56-40 to Navy. So look for North Texas to show up today. Scratching my head, 11.5 point dogs, North Texas. This reminds me of Vanderbilt last week with Kentucky getting 14. I get 20. Like, what's wrong with this pitcher? And then Vandy wins the game straight out. I'm getting 20. So it's the same thing here. What is wrong? My line was 7. Memphis laying the 7 at home. But 11.5, you got to be kidding me. Bad line, unless there's some injury that I don't know about. Texas. So check for that if there's an injury to North Texas, the quarterback. Texas, 4.5, 57.5. This is our free play. Go over in this game. My score is Texas 37, Georgia 27. I think Texas has shown they can throw. They threw on Michigan. They threw on Oklahoma. Georgia is vulnerable to the pass. Old Mississippi State lit them up last week. But Georgia's got the offense too. Texas hasn't really faced an offense yet. Michigan's was terrible, and Oklahoma's is terrible. This is the first real quarterback they're going to see, and believe me, Georgia's going to come to play. They lost to Alabama. They got to win this game. I don't like their defense, so I can't take them as the dog in this game. So therefore, I like them as the over in this game. So go over. I got 37-27, which is 64. We need 56.5, down to 50. Very doable. UCF, Iowa State, 13.5 and 50. Big fan of Iowa State. An 11 defense, UCF with the 24 defense. So Iowa State's going to win this one. Kansas State, West Virginia, Kansas State 355. Kansas State with the 21 defense, West Virginia 26. In the big game against Penn State, West Virginia got killed. I don't see much difference happening here. I would prefer West Virginia as a favorite, and I'd lock Kansas State as the dog, but that's not what I got. Again, I think it's a light total. Kansas State scores, and West Virginia will score at home, so I think there'll be points. But I don't know, a lot of 55, 56, 57 totals. It's crazy. Iowa, Michigan State, 6.5, 39.5. Michigan State, they beat Maryland, who's not really that good. And then they got killed by Oregon, got killed by Ohio State. Here comes Iowa. Tough defense, strong running back. Michigan State, I don't like Childs, their quarterback. He's one of these dual quarterbacks who can't throw the ball. He's a good runner. Well, Iowa will eat that up. And, what did Childs do against Ohio State and Oregon? Oh, absolutely nothing. Excuse me. It's cold. Probably not enough sleep. So I think Iowa can handle Michigan. I don't like Childs. So how are they going to score? Iowa with the running back we know how they'll score. Defense, probably Iowa with an 18, Michigan State with a 30. So go Iowa, beat Michigan State. Where's my 10? Jeez. All right. Kentucky and Florida. Kentucky 1.5, 42 to Florida. This Florida was favored. Now it's Kentucky. They're an under team, as we know. 15 defense and a 15 offense. Florida, I don't know. You got to get the Miami game out of your mind. They played Tennessee really good, but we don't even know how good Tennessee is. Their quarterback sucks, basically. He's a good volleyball player. Stick to volleyball, fella. Don't. Oh, I can play volleyball. I can quarterback a football team. No. You can't. He's not very good. So Florida, big emotional game. Now they got a big emotional game with Kentucky. They're a home dog. They'll play a good game here. I don't think there'll be a lot of points. Colorado State Air Force, probably the first time in history, Colorado State's favored over Air Force. 6.5, 44.5. Colorado State's an E team. Air Force is a Z team. They both have 30 defenses. Air Force is only getting 250 yards a game, and Colorado State 366. Colorado State's been playing well lately. SMU, Stanford 16.5, 53.5. SMU's much the better team. Went to Louisville and got the win. Stanford just lost to Notre Dame by 100. 16.5, a little tough. 22 defense from SMU, which is unusual. 31 for Stanford. So we're go against the defense. Vegas, I love Vegas against Oregon State. 6.5, 59.5. Vegas is an A team with a 22 defense, good quarterback. The guy quits, and they bring in another guy, and he's just as good. A little more of a runner, but very good. 22, they get 425 a game. Oregon State's about 425. Oregon State's an over team with a 26 defense. So I look at it as Vegas is an A team. They're an over team. A little weak defense. Vegas will definitely score a lot. The question is, what's Oregon State, who just lost to Nevada last week? So this will be a tough one, but I think it'll be a close game. And our last game that I'm not making you bet, Utah 3-50 to TCU, and we got no Cam Rising. We know it. He hurt his leg. I was watching the highlights of last week, and he was limping around. I don't know what he was doing out there. He couldn't throw. He couldn't put a lot of zip on the ball. He threw 3 picks. Shouldn't have been out there. He probably wouldn't leave, but his leg was bothering him then. He was limping around. And then it's found out he's got, I don't know, a lower leg injury. Looks probably a knee or a foot or something, but he's out for the year. And it's too bad. He's really good. And just for the last 2 years, couldn't play. So with that said, TCU an over team with the 31 defense, and Utah I'm not even sure they're a B team, but let's say they are because Rising's been out with the 17 defense. I know Utah's got a good running attack and a good defense. The quarterback's okay. They got a freshman quarterback, Zach Wilson, from BYU, went to the Jets, his brother, Luke Wilson, I think. And I don't know what to do with this game. It's hard to fuck with a good defense. Probably a low scoring. Utah will probably just play Army-Navy ball, and TCU is not going to be able to just roll up and down the field. So probably an under there, but I'm not taking it. So free play, Georgia, Texas, over, and it's over 50. So what does that mean in English? 27-24 gets you a W. That's a 51. That's very doable. Georgia, Old Mississippi State put up 31 on them. Georgia put up 35 on Ella fucking Bama. So I just see there's no way if Georgia gets behind, they're just going to keep throwing. And I like back, good quarterback. They'll be fine. Texas isn't that good. They haven't played a quarterback like this. So, you see them beating Oklahoma and Michigan. They didn't have quarterbacks. Oklahoma's offense is terrible. Michigan's offense was terrible when they played. So let's see them against the good quarterback. And they're not in the Big 12 where they play all these good quarterbacks. So they've been lucky to avoid the good quarterbacks, Texas. So that's your free play now. Go over Texas, Georgia. And if you bet on Georgia Tech as the free pick, it's probably still good. The spread's 14. It went from 12 to 14. It went from 12 to 10. See, this is confusing. It was 10 yesterday. And then all of a sudden, oh no, the kid's out, and it went to 14. So they didn't. This is something that just happened yesterday, I guess. I still think Georgia Tech is a prime home dog in this game, but you can't bet it without King. King's the straw that stirs the drink. Although the backup quarterback is similar, and it's his opportunity, and there's still going to be sky high. We'll win it for King. I mean, I still wouldn't be surprised if Georgia Tech 20-17 or something like that. My score was 24-20 Notre Dame, and I don't see Notre Dame getting more than 24 because of the quarterback. Maybe Georgia Tech gets 17, 14, but that's it. Georgia Tech, very well coached team. So you got to do that. So I have 4 locks going today and at least 6 strong plays. This should be a huge day. I got so many games. That's what was troubling me was who do I lock and who do I play? Not that can I find a lock. It's I got too many games I could lock. I could have had 8 locks going today. So I think I have 3. So that's 6 teams. And then I have 2 locks in the pros tomorrow. So this should be a very strong weekend. Couple of injuries. So the Arizona State quarterback's injured, and the other quarterback is injured. My Georgia Tech quarterback, and Cam Rising's out. It's almost like you got to go on Google and go, is this quarterback out? Or I tried what quarterbacks are out. I didn't. I got Cam Rising, and I got Georgia Tech. I go to covers where they keep track of the injuries. They're all like September. Well, it's October 19th. The September 14th injury list doesn't really help me. So I'm not sure about that. So it's very difficult. You can only go by the line. When the line went from 11 to 14, Notre Dame, what's going on? The line really didn't move in the Cincinnati, Arizona State game. It moved like a point, which I was surprised. Arizona State's quarterback's pretty good. Their key is their running back. Arizona State's got a great running back. Cincinnati, I like Sorsby, their quarterback. So they'll just hand off a lot, but we'll see. Arizona State will give them a game still. And, nowadays the backup quarterback is not the kiss of death. All right. So let's go to the pros. So again, gold. It broke 32.75. It's at 33.75. Look for next week gold to hit $50 an ounce. Go buy some today. I will go buy some today. It's just so underpriced because it's price fixed. Well, Howard, if it's price fixed, how is it now going to go? It's still price fixed. You're correct. But the price fixing once it hits 33 goes away because all the derivatives are in there at 32, 32.75, 33. So now that it broke, there's really no derivative to keep pushing it down. So it's all fake. It's all based on derivatives, not based on the market, not based on supply and demand. It's based on JP Morgan keeping the price down for some stupid reason I don't understand. Especially silver. I don't get that. Gold I get because I don't want the competition with the dollar, but silver I don't get. So go buy silver. Again, if you have 100 ounces and it moves $5, you make $500 for doing nothing. But if it goes $100 and you got 100 ounces, you made $10,000. And the cost is, you can get 100 ounces for $3,500. And then it goes to 100 times 100 ounces is now worth $10,000. So you paid $3,000, it's worth 10 grand, and then it goes up from there. That's just at 100. Wait till it hits 500 or 1,000. So that's where we're going to make a ton of money is if you have a lot of ounces. Right? Gold, it's hard to get 100 ounces. Unless you're, really rich. The rest of us, we just add an ounce or two here and there, and we're happy. So that's gold. Silver, though, you can have. It's easy to get 400 or 500 ounces, and then it goes up $100. You made 40 grand. Now you got some serious money. See, silver hasn't been moving, so nobody's really making money on it. So they're keeping it down. But a lot of people have a lot of silver. When silver starts moving, there's going to be a lot of rich investors on silver. And it's easy to sell. Just go to your coin store and sell it. I love that argument. Well, where are you going to sell it? I was in the sauna yesterday, and a guy's telling me, well, he understood gold. He says, what do I do, though? I don't want to sell it and get back the dollars. And I says, well, you're not going to sell it unless you can get the BRICS gold back currency, or unless you need it to pay your rent or food or something like that. Then you would sell it to pay that off. So you don't care if you get the dollars, if you're going to take the dollars and spend it. And so he was like, he had some good questions, but that's what you want to do with that. It's just be careful. All right, let's look at the NFL then. We had Denver over New Orleans because of Rattler. And then I noticed my boy Jake Haener came in late and threw a touchdown. So I had Denver plus 3.5. It's a winner. Jacksonville 642 in the London game, up from 5.5. Who the fuck in London would want to see this game? New England's terrible. I'm listening to Boomer Esiason on the radio yesterday giving like his picks, and he says how good Drake May is. How good's Drake May? Drake May sucks. What are you talking about? We see why they drafted him number 3. I still don't see why they drafted Caleb number 1 when they could have had Daniels. So I don't buy that shit. These announcers are just bullshitting everybody. Look how good Drake. Look how good Caleb is. Oh, J.J. McCarthy. Oh, look at how good Lamar is. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So they're both Z teams, New England and Jacksonville. Jacksonville with the 30 defense, New England with the 24. May terrible, Lawrence terrible. Probably an under game. How do you bet these guys? Atlanta 351 to Seattle. It should be a good game. Seattle with the 25 defense, Atlanta with the 23. Smith against Cousins. Cincinnati, your free pick, 5.5, 41.5. I got Cincy winning 31-13. Deshaun Watson's terrible. He's just counting his money. Cleveland, besides Myles Garrett, which I don't know how much he's trying. Seems like they're going after they're tanking for the quarterback, I guess, whoever the quarterback is. Milrose, I guess. I don't know. Hardly a number 1 pick, Milrose. So I got Cincinnati, got them even 31-13. They're a B team. Cleveland's a W, 24 defense. Watson's terrible. That's your free pick. Take Cincinnati. Buffalo, 9.5, 41 to Tennessee. Tennessee 22 defense, Buffalo 21, but we got Will Levis who sucks against Josh Allen, who's okay. Tennessee 253. That's all their offense they get, and Buffalo 310. In the NFL, they don't get a lot of offense because there's a lot of sacks and stuff, so they lose It's like the options. They short goal. They get the sack. So Buffalo's the better team at home here. And this is why we do the teasers. 9.5, it's a hard bet. 3.5, it's a very easy bet. So look for Buffalo to, but they're not as strong. A lot of Von Miller's out, Milano's out, so it's a tougher game. Philadelphia against the Giants, 3-43. Philly's a 22 defense. The Giants are 20. Jones absolutely couldn't start in the SEC right now against Jalen Hurts, who couldn't start when he was at Alabama. He got beaten out by Tagliabue. Shows how bad he is. 22 defense, Philly, 20 for the Giants, 367 Philly, 330 for the Giants offensively. Good luck with this game. Houston, Green Bay 3-48. Love looks good. I'm comfortable with Love. Stroud has his moments. Still throws too many picks, too many stupid plays, but he's okay as long as he's not playing Michigan. A 20 defense for Green Bay, 23. Green Bay gets 400 yards a game, 375 for Houston. This should be a good game. Detroit mini 1.5, 50.5. I wondered why, and then Hutchinson broke his leg. He's out. Well, there goes their defense. There goes their pass rush. So if they can't get to the quarterback quickly and he throws a pick, now he's got 20 minutes back there. Detroit with an 18 defense is now maybe a 22, and Minnesota with a 15. Detroit 416 yards of offense, mini 323. Golf against Darnell. Darnell looks like a superstar now. I don't know where this game. How can he look this good and look this bad on the Jets and these other teams? The Niners. He couldn't even compete with Purdy, and now he's looking like a champ at Minnesota. So should be a. I think Minnesota wins this game just because the injury to Hutchinson will have more time. Indy, Miami, Indy 343.5. Miami's terrible. Huntley, not even a pro quarterback, was on a practice squad. They're a Z team. Indy 3 and let's see. Indy is a 20. They both are 23 defenses. Indy gets 337. Richardson, I believe, is playing, which you got to wonder why they're not going with Flacco, but I think they're going with Richardson. Just writing that down. I just heard that yesterday. Richardson's terrible. Huntley's terrible. You know, again, I don't get these quarterbacks at all. That this is, well, he can run. Yeah, I want a quarterback who can throw, not a quarterback who can run. Richardson cannot throw. A lot of picks. Can't make decisions, and he wants to run. Tagovailoa, I believe, got hurt on purpose so he could collect his money like Deshaun Watson. He's not trying. He's just collecting his paycheck, and that's what Tagovailoa gets his paycheck without even playing. I saw that play he got hurt on. He didn't even duck or slide. He just ran headfirst into the guy, took the concussion, did it on purpose. I don't know what Miami sees in that guy. You got to be kidding. The Rams, 743.5 to Oakland. Stafford against O'Connell. Jesus Christ, O'Connell, who sucked at Purdue, who's not even a runner, and you got him as quarterback. Now you've lost Devontae Adams. Crosby is playing Oakland with the 27 defense, the Rams with the 28. They haven't replaced Aaron Donald, which you can't. 345 passing, 293. Cooper Kupp might play this week. We're not sure yet. We'll watch that tomorrow. Or we'll look at the news today. Maybe he will. They're both W teams, but if they get Cooper Kupp and Pukanuka back, the Rams shoot to an over team. They still have Stafford, who's going to win you the game. So I think the Rams win the game with Stafford, but Their defense sucks, and Oakland with O'Connell, I can't see Oakland winning this game. Washington, there's an 8.5 and a 51.5 to Carolina. Carolina with Andy Dalton's an over team. With Bryce Young, they're a Z team. Washington is now kind of still an over team or kind of an A team. 34 defense for Carolina, 300 yards a game offense. Washington 24, 378. Daniel, superstar. Dalton, very good. Much better than these other idiots, Richardson or Stroud or Watson. Can't believe Dalton's sitting there and nobody's picking him up. Washington's explosive, and their defense is okay, but not great. Carolina, they'll score. Dalton's been scoring, so definitely there should be points here. KC and the Niners. The Niners 1.5, 47. What can I say? KC with the 17 defense, the Niners with the 22, 420 yards for the Niners, 365 for KC, which is meaningless because it's all about Mahomes. You're giving me Mahomes as a dog. Thank you very much. Revenge for the Super Bowl. I don't think Mahomes cares about that. Mahomes as a dog is all that matters. This is why we bet teasers. You got 7.5 in Mahomes, and nobody can. Even Alabama and Georgia couldn't beat him with 7.5. So definitely like Mahomes as a dog. The Niners haven't shown much. McCaffrey's out. It's a big injury. Yes, Frisco will be, there, but they you can't stop Mahomes. You can only hope to contain him. I mean, it's a dog play. Pitt and the Jets 1.5, 38.5. They've added Devontae Adams, and the line went from 2.5 to 1.5. Interesting. Pittsburgh probably going to start Russell Wilson would be my guess against Aaron Rodgers. Very good matchup. Jets with an 18 defense, Pitt with the best defense of 14, 298. That's with Fields. That shows you why Fields sucks. 298. The Jets with Rodgers, 304. That's why they got rid of their offensive coordinator. That's the problem with the head coach. He didn't get rid of the offensive coordinator. That's why he's fired. Pitt's an awful nasty home dog in the Jets. Okay, they had Devontae Adams. He'll catch a few passes, but even Chase, his first game back, didn't light it up for a while. They got to get used to playing with each other again, Rodgers and Devontae Adams. He'll definitely make a move, but it doesn't all of a sudden they're going to put up 50 points because Devontae Adams is there, not against Pittsburgh's defense. Hard to make Pitt a home dog. Again, look at these dogs. Kansas City, Pitt at home against the JETSs. Yeah. Baltimore, Tampa. Baltimore, 3.5 and 49. Lamar against the Baker. 25 defense for Baltimore, 24 for Tampa. 454 offense for Baltimore, 385. They are running Henry a lot, and he's getting touchdowns. Should be a very good game. Definitely like this game. And San Diego, Arizona. San Diego, 244. Herbert against Murray. I don't know what's going on with Arizona. They put up 13 on the Lions, 14 on Washington, 13 last week, and then put up 28 on San Francisco, which is why I like Kansas City as the dog. So I don't know where he goes. I mean, 13 points or 30 points. Which Kyler Murray are we getting today? And against San Diego, we're getting the 13-point Kyler Murray. Not going to do anything. Let's look for San Diego is an under team with a 13 defense, 281 passing with Justin Herbert. He's still got the high ankle sprain, but he's playing. Arizona, I got him as an over team because they got a 27 defense. So I think San Diego wins this game. And I believe it's low scoring. Murray's been putting up 13 points. I don't see a lot more. San Diego's playing Michigan football. They're going to run. And it's funny how they got all the Baltimore. They got what? The Ohio State J.K. Dobbins, and then they got this other Baltimore guy. What the fuck's going on with Harbaugh, the Harbaugh brothers? So they got two Baltimore running backs. So we'll see. But San Diego, they'll put pressure on Murray with Bosa and Mack, the good safety, a few other good players, and Harbaugh knows how to play a good defensive game like he did for the Niners when he was there. So your free play, take Joe Burrow even against Cleveland. They have to win the game. Their back's against the wall. They're 2-4. Baltimore is 4-2. So keep that in mind. So that is pros, which we'll go over more tomorrow. College, they're putting more of these games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday now, with the thought of making you bet. You're not going to bet the Wednesday game, but since if it was on Saturday, but because it's lumped in. So I played Tuesday, Wednesday, I think, but I played it very, very small. I lost both ends going against the Z team. So the theory's always there. You're looking at why do I bet the games? You must understand why you bet the games. And that's really what I try to address is why, they got a good defense. Their quarterback sucks. Look at the Georgia game. Well, Georgia can throw the ball all around. Texas hasn't seen that. Georgia's defense is weak against the pass. Texas should light them up. Should be a down to the wire game. I'm a little afraid of the Georgia. I like betting good defenses over good offense, so I'm not taking Georgia, but then it'll be high scoring. That's why we're betting it based on that. And that's what you need to do with everything. And that's why are we buying silver and gold? Because the dollar's going out, because they keep printing it, because the people in charge are idiots, the Keynesians, who think we can just keep printing everything, right? That's their theory is we'll print, and that will that'll pay off the debt. But the more dollars you print, the less the dollars are worth. So it doesn't do anything but cause higher inflation, which is inflating the money supply. You're printing too much. So again, really what will happen is the medium of exchange is the dollar ends up where you need to change it, right? In Germany, they had the Deutschmark and they went to the Reichsmark. They switched currencies. Now the new currency was still shit because it wasn't backed by gold. And that was Hitler's plan, was to go rob all the gold. That's why he went to war. They were broke. And he stole all the gold in Czechoslovakia and Poland and all these countries. And that's what World War II was about. It was Hitler stealing gold, right? And that's why you need a gold-backed currency. That's why we're excited about the BRICS gold-backed currency. It'll kill the dollar, but we don't care about that. It's already dead. Now we want to get some of the gold-backed currency. That's what we did. So we will see what's happening. Anyway, that's why I tell you to buy the gold and silver. The reason they're low is because of the derivative market of COMEX by JP Morgan price fixing it, not by free market. So the price of gold and silver is not real. It's not close to reality. So therefore, that's what you're looking at is it's a very, very weak currency. And but the gold's a very, the gold-backed currency is very strong. So that's why the dollar's going to crash. And it's just, they need a new dollar. And since we have no gold, because we don't have any gold near Fort Knox, then we're fucked. Hopefully we can get BRICS gold-backed currency and use it, or we're moving to BRICS countries that have the gold-backed currency. Yes, we don't want to sell gold and silver for this shit. Right? This is not. We do not want to sell and get this unless it's absolutely uh, critical that we sell it to get money to pay for bills that are still using dollars. That'll be a little bit more, and then they'll phase it out. CBDCs, stay away from them. Bitcoin, not money, stay away from that. Bitcoin, as I've talked, is just simply a Ponzi scheme. It's not an asset. It's certainly not money. Call it a collectible, but would you rather have a Mickey Mantle PSA 9 card or Bitcoin? Would you rather have a Rolex or a Bitcoin? So the fact Bitcoin's got value and it's worth 50, 60,000, it's bullshit. It's like Madoff. Madoff gives you 15%. So you're in Madoff, but it's not real. He's not investing it. It's a Ponzi scheme. That's what Bitcoin is. It's not real because you don't have anything. It's just digital, and digital is useless. It's worthless. I can't do anything with it. So just be careful. You want to always hold it. You want the gold in your hand. You don't want to buy stocks. You want the silver in your hand. You want the Mantle card in your hand, the Rolex in your hand, and nobody can take it from you, and nobody can kill the value. The dollar's worthless. It's going away because these idiots in charge don't understand you can't keep printing it. So that's why we buy the gold and silver. So now you understand the reason, which is what's going to protect you. That's why we do it. And then I show you I do it to say, well, fuck, the professor does it. It must, he must understand it. And I don't get commission off of telling you to buy gold and silver. So it's all right there. It's a very simple, it's a very simple thing. Just you need money, but this is not money anymore. This has no value. Gold and silver have the value. So you just trade bullshit pieces of toilet paper, monopoly money, for real money, gold and silver. I don't understand why it's so difficult for people to get that concept. You can't hold on to the toilet paper. If you keep doing it, it's worthless. And if you don't believe me, well, what happened in Rome? Oh, yeah, the Romans, yeah, they went out. I was watching Les Miserables on the plane, that musical, right? Les Miserables, but I call it Les Miserables. And it was the French inflating their money, which killed France, right? It was the hyperinflation that Napoleon did. So he could go to Waterloo and lose, and then that was it. And then they had no food. And they had the revolution because they fucked the dollar up. That's the whole play or movie, whatever way you want to call it. They're all poor and starving because of the hyperinflation that the government did, paying for the war for Napoleon. Very simple. Wars are expensive. There's no revenue in it unless you do what Hitler did and steal the gold. And then it's really not a war. It's really him stealing gold from all the countries. So keep that. That's a perfect example of what happened and where we're headed is the French Revolution and Les Miserables. Happened to Rome. We called it the Dark Ages after that. That's how you got all these other countries, all the Roman Empire, all moved to, Italy, went to France and Spain and Russia and Germany, and created chaos. But the people in charge don't know what they're doing. This is our problem with government. They're trying to tell us the election is on the level, which nobody believes. It's fixed by George Soros. Well, everybody in Michigan needs to, they bring in they have photo IDs, and it's not legit. My vote is totally meaningless because it's already fixed, right? And we'll see. If Kamala Harris wins, I'm moving to Russia. If Trump wins, I'll move maybe to Amsterdam or somewhere. You can't live here with either of these idiots because the money will be worthless. The key is, are you coming out with gold-backed currency? If you don't hear that, just run and hide because you're fucked. And that's what's happening here. So we got a very important silver at 33.70, up $2 yesterday, but it broke that 32.75, and here it goes to 50. So that's why I say go buy now. Go buy 10 ounces, buy 20 ounces. It's a no-brainer. You can't lose. It's not going down to 28 or 8 or 10 or 12. It's going to 100 and probably to 1,000, because that's the real value when you're not diluting and doing derivatives to keep the price down. So that's really what you're doing. Anyway, let's see if there's any football news. I try to get some economics in, as I have a lot of economics students who, we don't want to hear football. We want to hear gold and silver. All right. Any news today? No, they're just talking. The Auburn spotlight is on you freeze. Rivalry games in NFL stadiums is sad. Yes, I agree with that. Or why wouldn't you have them in college? NCAA issues rule change after Oregon's late 12-man penalty. Heisman watch. What a joke that is. You're the best player, but your team sucks. So you're not really. You got to be on a good team to be the best player. What the fuck is that? Prime Time says Travis Hunter should play for certain. I don't know what that means. Colorado State wide receiver out for the year. Who cares? Cam Rising out for the year. We know. Florida Graham Mertz will miss the rest of the season with torn. Okay, so that could be a good underplay. They play Kentucky. I love this one. Oregon wide receiver ejected for spitting on Ohio State. Well, do we understand the reason he spit on him? He didn't just spit on him. But of course, they won't also kick out the Ohio State player. And then we get into last. So really, Travis Hunter exits Colorado game with apparent shoulder injury. So let's read the primetime one on Travis Hunter. Deion Sanders says Travis Hunter should play for certain versus Arizona. So, okay. Which is okay. You're thinking about betting Colorado, does it matter? Do they not have backups? I mean, poor Cam Rising. So that's it. Anything else? Questions, comments? Any games you want to talk about? Write them down. I'm expecting the Alabama-Tennessee game. I'm expecting Tennessee to do something different. Their quarterback sucks. Milo, the volleyball player. I was watching last week against Florida, and he missed wide open guys throwing it over their heads. He can't read. Not a good quarterback. This is the problem with pros and college. They bring in a quarterback who's athletic, and he'll run around. No, I need a quarterback who can throw to my $1 million receiver over there, and he can't read the defense. What are you going to do? This is another vote. We can't vote for these idiots. Why is inflation through the roof? Should we answer the question for them? Fucking idiots. Why do they keep texting me with these stupid things? And the sad part is these guys can't even explain inflation. It's not prices. It's you inflated the money supply. It's a very simple concept. Unbelievable. Um, so I'm expecting, so Tennessee's quarterback really sucks. Maybe a quarterback change. Maybe they throw on first down more. Alabama, you can throw on. Georgia showed that. Fucking lost to Vanderbilt. Pavia should be the Heisman Trophy winner after beating Alabama because Georgia couldn't do it. He's a good little quarter. He's a winner, Pavia, because look what he did for New Mexico State last year. They won 10 games. Then he comes to Vanderbilt. They beat Alabama and Kentucky. So this is the thing. He's a very good quarterback, and that's what you're looking for. He throws the ball. He can run a little bit, but he throws the ball. So look for Milrose to have a big game against Tennessee. Look for Ewers to have a big game against Georgia, and Beck to have a big game for Georgia against Texas, which is why I like the game over. I think you have two good quarterbacks to light it up. They know they got to score, and I don't know what Texas is. Beating Michigan and beating Oklahoma doesn't show me anything because neither of them have an offense. Georgia's got an offense, so we will see the real Texas team today. You made Georgia a dog. Don't want to do that too often. However, because they have a weak defense, Georgia, which I never thought I'd say, I can't take them as the dog. I got to bet them over because Texas has a good offense, as does Georgia. Those are those two. So, again, your free play tomorrow, Cincinnati Bengals to beat Cleveland. And we're going Georgia, Texas over. If you've already bet Georgia Tech, you have two options. Try to avoid the ticket, which you can. And or if you can't, bet Notre Dame back. So if you bet, let's say 500 on it, bet Notre Dame back for like 350. But the problem is, unless it's a closer of the teaser, you could lose both ways because Georgia Tech covers and you win the teaser, but you got to win the second half of the teaser, and then you lost the Notre Dame bet. So just be careful with that. I think you can probably just keep the play. I still feel comfortable that Georgia Tech's going to play them well. They still have a good team and a good coach, and the backup, I'm sure, is not terrible. So, yeah, would I rather have King? I thought they'd win with King at home dog, but I think the backup will do well. So that's that. We'll learn Michigan plays Illinois. Illinois certainly can beat them. They beat big Nebraska. You got Indiana and Nebraska, a really good game. Indiana's the better team there, the better offense and the better defense. And the better coach. So I think that'll be a good game, probably an under game. Or you can take Indiana, but I don't like Nebraska's defense. I don't want to bet Indiana into that defense. That's now you're looking for Maryland or some of the weaker teams to play. We've been on Indiana every week, and we're cleaning up on them. Very good coach. But I'm not betting Indiana today. I'm not laying even. There's other fish to fry, but I got 4 locks in college, 4 locks in pros, and the other games I could easily lock. I'm not locking, but I got at least 5 more plays in college and in pros. The secondary, the Kansas City is a dog play. The Steelers if Russell Wilson plays. So and then they're not locks, but they're Mahomes is a dog. That's a huge play. You're not gonna. He's not going to just go away. They have other pro receivers. They're going to move the ball. And San Francisco, their defense doesn't look very good. Not like before. This is the problem. So you keep losing your defensive coordinators till eventually, where did your defense go? So anyway. So we'll see. We'll look for Russell Wilson in college. Cam Rising, we've already seen his replacement. Arizona State, we'll see their replacement. and then we'll see Georgia Tech. I have a feeling Georgia Tech's replacement is just fine. That's the coach. All right. Anything else? Questions, comments? How to bet? Why to bet? This is very, hard. I'm picking the future here. Just an FYI. So just you want to bet what you can afford. If you lose, okay, we're not happy about it, but okay, I can still eat. And then you simply go to, now what do I do? Okay, I've got that. So that's really what you're looking for. And then you're trying to build your bankroll. That's how you win at football, is building the bankroll. And that's the critical part. Because again, it's extremely difficult. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen, which we don't really know, but we're using clues of, well, they got a really good defense, they got a really good quarterback, and that's why you look at it to try to come up with what do we think will happen. Fortunately, I'm very good at that, thinking third dimensionally. So that's why I'm able to give us so many winners and do so well on my locks. Anyway, anything else? Game time in 20 minutes. Buy your gold and silver. I would go run and buy at least 20 ounces of silver today. That'd be $600. It'll be the best $600 you ever invested in your life. And I'm going to go there on the way to swim and I'll probably get 10 ounces because I got to pay back for the thing. I'm close to a job. So if I get the job, I'd go buy 100 ounces and I'd go buy some more gold before gold's unreachable, but we only have till Tuesday. Silver should still be okay. It's gold. It's going to go through the roof Tuesday when they announce it. Now, if they don't announce it, I'm expecting them to do some formal announcement. If they don't announce it or they delay it, it's still the dollar going out, and it's the CIA threatening them that if they do it, they'll kill them all, which is the normal CIA protocol. So I think Putin's like, no, we're doing it. We want to get rid of you guys. It's very expensive, the wars. So look for that. We'll know Tuesday. It won't be on CNBC and MSNBC and all these loser channels. I'll have to dig for it in YouTube, and we'll go from there. Anyway, that's what's going on. Have a good day. Have a good luck today. Be careful. Again, we're going Georgia, Texas over. I gave you a score, I think, on that one. 37-27 Texas. Sounds about right. I think it'll be close. They'll score, get the 10-point lead, or they'll get up, and then Georgia comes back like they did against Alabama. But that's why I like Georgia. They came back against Alabama. And then we see Alabama doesn't really have that good defense because Mr. Pavia lit them up for 40 points. So anyway, that's what's going on. This Alabama-Tennessee game will be very interesting. So I'll hit the hot tub because I don't feel good. And I could sleep all day today. I got up. It happened to be 9:45. I do class. I could sleep all day. I'm so tired. A lot of it's probably the jet lag catching up to me and the time change catching up to me. I was nodding off at 10 o'clock and it's like 3 a.m. for me. No wonder I'm nodding off. So I'm slowly getting back on Detroit time. All right, everybody. Good luck today. Again, I got 4 locks in college and 4 in pros. Pocket Aces weekend here. So enjoy. www.teaserking.com. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Good luck to you.